I hope because we are talking Real Housewives today. We're going to talk a little bit about Atlanta, and then I also want to talk a little bit about Beverly Hills because I saw something about Miss Diana Jenkins on Twitter today that she was posting Marilyn Monroe photos of Marilyn with her tongue out. So I thought you guys might want to chat a little bit about Miss Diana. Let's get started though. Real Housewives of Atlanta. There is some gossip going around. I saw an interview that Claudia Jordan did because she still works for iHeartRadio. I think she's local to Atlanta though, and she does do a show I think every morning. So does Eva. We know that from the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Eva was working the whole time that she was there. Hey, Freddie, how are you? I wanted to talk Atlanta. I'm glad you're here. I heard that Marlo is outing Kenya for allegedly not being a biological mother to Brooklyn and saying that the eggs that Kenya used eggs that were not hers and that she's been lying this whole time. So this was actually on a Claudia Jordan interview with Marlo and Cynthia, you guys. And no, Freddie, I'm glad you're in here because I want to know what you think and if you've heard this rumor about Kenya because I've never heard it before. And Marlo seems to say that this has been the word on the streets for a long time and that Kenya's been hiding it from all of her fans and that all of these women are lying about their finances, and Kenya's lying about her fertility. The Shade Room, if you guys don't follow them on Instagram, you should. They posted a clip of Sheree walking around. I think it would have been a dog park, but she was like trying off of Love and Marriage. I cannot think of his name right now, but it looked like they were trying to go into the bathroom together, like to get a quickie on, if you will. But unfortunately, like they were at a dog park and the doors must have been locked, but they were like looking around to see if anyone was watching them. And it just was kind of, I don't know, it seemed a little strange. I did see a clip of Monique Samuels from Love and Marriage DC. This is her first season coming on. If you guys don't know, Carlos King is actually producer on it. If you don't know anything about Carlos King, you should definitely look into him. He has a podcast as well, and he was in production. He was on production of like 7 of those. He was on production for years and years on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and he allegedly was the one to kind of get Candy and Porsha to make up. They were on the outs when everything came out with the lies about, the basement with Candy's like sex dungeon and the allegations that Phaedra had said about Candy and Todd allegedly drugging people. I think that people got that from T.I. and Tiny and all of the allegations circulating around T.I. and Tiny and them, drugging people. But this was just like way early on in the game, and we hadn't really heard those rumors about T.I. and Tiny. But what I think is they all probably ran in a small circle about Candy and Todd. And then when Phaedra didn't come back the following season, I think that he said that producers were really banking on Porsha and Candy having like a rough season and not getting along because of the allegations that Porsha had, stated on the show that Phaedra had told her. And Carlos allegedly let Porsha in on that. And so Porsha made plans with Candy off camera and went and like apologized again and told Candy that production was banking on them having, a feud this season as a storyline. And so Porsha and Candy actually ended up making up, and it kind of bites producers, in the ass. And Carlos was kind of on both sides of it because it was always said that he was responsible for this rumor about Candy and Todd, like slipping stuff in people's drinks and taking them to their sex dungeon in the basement. I think that Sheree looks amazing. I hope that she pays, that her line of clothing that she by Sheree. I'm hearing great things about it. I heard that the line it was amazing, is amazing, and that she got the right people this time to bring it all together and to actually, have a great fashion line. So that's a great thing for her if that's the case. I think Candy made a great point that, all she needs to do is come out with a small line. If she could come out with a small line of like, four different things and then sell that, take the money and put it back in and go bigger the next time. Thanks, Terry. I didn't know if you guys liked mornings or not. I never know. I just kind of sporadically come on. I'm glad you guys could come in this morning. I like Monday mornings, but I know not everyone watches Atlanta on Sunday night. Sometimes you guys watch out through the week, so I never know what to recap on Mondays because Beverly Hills is like so early on in the week, and Atlanta was just on last night. So some people, I don't want it to be like a spoiler, basically. Marlo, I want to know what you guys think about her and this cash trip and her basically. I mean, even Candy said in her confessional, Candy said, I've never been kicked off a cast trip before. Like, this has never happened to me. She just called cars for everybody and wanted everyone to leave. So I am surprised that they allowed her to do that because production did actually, foot the bill for the trip. So I know that she was the host, and sometimes they say that the host will actually like put in extra money if the budget that production gives them, they don't feel like it's, a nice enough trip or they want to ride, first class. Whatever the case may be, the host has the option to throw in extra, on top of what production have always said the rumors were always true. Hey, Camille. Hi, Camille's saying hi to Reality Diamond. Freddie as well. Freddie's one of our favorites. He is commentary on Sherelle's World as well. He's been around for a long time. PK is his best friend. Just ask PK about Freddie. He'll tell you how much he loves him. I'm joking. Don't ask PK about Freddie. He will not tell him how much he loves him. But yeah, these rumors about Sheree Whitfield and this, man, and also there was a cute video posted from the Real Housewives Ultimate. So I'm not really sure how the first year they go to Turks and Caicos. The second year, Camille says I've watched Freddie since he's been on Sherelle's World. Me too. I love him. To go to Dorinda's mansion in New York, upstate New York. That's so funny. Advice and things that, answering people's questions. Nobody has ever made themselves open to Twitter to like taking questions from Bravo fans. No offense, but I've never, all of the years I've been watching Bravo and all of the scandals and allegations, I've never seen anyone with an actual legal degree because everyone thinks they're a lawyer. Just ask them for legal advice. They will give it to you. But Ronald actually has a degree. So, yeah, Camille, we love you too. You can definitely make us into a little meme. I love memes. I enjoy them. I follow people. Housewives has the tea too, my go-to people. Oh, thank you, Camille. Housewives historian and Freddie and Sherelle's World. Also, there was something else I wanted to talk about with you guys. Portia's on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I want to know if you guys think that this is going to be her coming back, just like they did Tamra. It's kind of seems almost like, is this going to turn into a competition where like whoever wins the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip gets asked back the next season? Like, not that Tamra won anything, on season 2, but she did kill it. She was funny. She was one of the more, I think liked housewives, liked or hated, if you will. Either way, there's always a lot of press around Tamara when she wants there to be. She did go on her podcast and let everyone know that no worries, Tamara will be able to stay on the podcast with Teddy. And so Teddy and Tamara are taking polls on who all of you would like to see Teddy host the Real Housewives of Orange County episodes, basically. It's a weird mix of people for this third Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I think so too. We have Giselle from Real Housewives of Potomac and Candace, Heather Gray, and Whitney, I think I saw, and Porsha and someone else, I cannot remember who it was. But I think they're going to try to bring Porsha back. Both current and ex-housewives there. Yes, that's what it is, Freddie. Barbara says, I don't like the current cast coming on the Ultimate 3. It is a strange cast that there are some that are still on the show and some that aren't. There's talks about Cynthia Bailey making, I don't know if it would be a return, but Camille says, stop trying to make Teddy happen, Tamara. It's not going to happen. Oh, Tamara was just, I'm hearing Andy has Leah on it to see whether people want her back on Real Housewives of New York. I agree with you, Freddie. She also did that video in support of Kyle and Mauricio, how they acted at that dinner. Oh my gosh, thank you, Camille. You are so generous. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, Mauricio and Kyle, when they all of that stuff like hit the fan about them and Garcelle's children, um, before all of the really, really bad press started coming out, um, Leah was in support of Kyle and she was like, did this video and told people basically to get off of Kyle and Mauricio's kids' pages. And fans are so ridiculous nowadays. And of course, Kyle reposted it. But then when everyone was coming out, I think actually probably when Netflix called Kyle and Mauricio and told them, hey, you guys need to apologize. Like, this is not a good look. This is not the kind of press. This is not what we signed up for, buying Beverly Hills. You guys need to fix it. So I think then is when Kyle started to tone down all of her support, from her named friends and family, if you will, I guess. I mean, I didn't even know that Leah and Kyle were close or really even knew each other, but maybe, Leah's the kind of person, if she sees an injustice, I feel like she has no problem speaking up, but sometimes she needs to let people, figure out what's really going on before you start going off on people. Shay says, I don't want to see Porsha back on my screen at all. Her little spinoff turned me off. Did you guys watch Porsche spinoff? I did. I heard that it got signed another season. I'm not gonna lie. Camille says I want Brandy and Danielle Staub on together. That would be hilarious. I see Leah first season, but not second. Camille, that would be really funny to bring Danielle and Brandy on together. They might end up becoming best friends though. Manipulated maybe, so maybe they would be like switching phone numbers. Like Danielle could come out and run through Brandy's list of men she's got in LA, and Brandy could come to Danielle in New Jersey and run through her list of men. All the alcoholic housewives together. Yes, Freddie, that would be a good one. I agree with you. That would be really great. Yeah, Carlos King though. Are you guys watching his podcast? Are you guys seeing him on Instagram? He talks a lot about Portia Williams as well. Even though I haven't seen her do any interviews or anything with him, I really haven't seen her do much of anything except announce. Well, I don't even know if it was announced, but she did like a little video with allegedly her couple of bridesmaids that she's going to have. But she did it, I think, the day that the Real Housewives of Atlanta, like the first episode aired. And she just did a video of like her and like 5 ladies coming out of the house. Why don't we make a reality show about all the criminals going on a trip together? Erica will be a mean drunk Dorinda in 5 years. I agree with that, Camille. I don't think with the whole like criminal felons, they're not really allowed to be around each other if they're still on parole. So, Teresa would be okay. She's not on parole anymore, but Jen Shah, she's possibly looking at up to 14 years. So I think that she's probably right now coming to terms with the fact that she is very likely to spend a little bit of time behind bars in a federal penitentiary. And I'm sure she is terrified. But I think she'll be okay. And there are talks that her husband could be liable for this $9 million that she owes in restitution because they are married and their debt is shared. And in every state it's different. The rules and regulations for how debt is looked at and accumulated and when you're married. But allegedly, Utah law could potentially put him up to owing $9 million. Surprised Jen wasn't made to start her sentence right away. I was too. However, in the United States, they did the same thing with Teresa and Joe. I think that Teresa and Joe just didn't tell a lot of people what was in their plea deal until it actually like hit the court docket. It's possible they knew. I know Jen has 100% been filming since sentencing. She's filmed since she changed her plea to guilty, because I thought they were done filming because If they are not done, I didn't realize, but I thought they were done when she changed her plea to guilty because Andy Cohen said that he was not aware, and that he was frustrated that she didn't share with him that she was going to change her plea from not guilty to guilty, which I thought was strange because in those sort of situations, you kind of have to make a decision fast because they had not offered her a plea deal at all, and they had turned every single person in the indictment listed in that indictment had turned and took a deal, state's evidence, or well, federal evidence that they would testify against Jen Shah. So off the rip, she would have had, I mean, however many people were listed in the indictment, and there was a lot of them testifying to her criminal activity. So that's number one. Number two, so if the judge or the prosecutor came and gave her attorney an option that if she pled guilty, we'll cut the sentence, instead of up to 30 years, now she's looking up to 14 years, okay? So she had to make a quick decision because prosecutors, part of their deal is putting pressure on you and letting you know that, it's now or never, you need to make this decision. And you kind of have to lean on your attorney on whether, with what he knows and lean on his legal. Now she's looking at up to 14. And so in order to do that, she had to change, she pled out. Now, the plea deals, the prosecutors like those because that gives them a higher conviction rate. In our system, prosecutors go by a conviction rate, which, says how many times they've actually gotten a person convicted on a crime. It doesn't matter if they got sentenced to probation, 90 days in jail, 9 years in prison. If they were convicted on the crimes that they were charged with, whether it's not the charges that they originally got charged with, the charges could have been amended. The prosecutor can amend the charges regardless, whatever the charges are as stands. If they're convicted on them, then that gives the prosecutor a higher ratio that, they're more successful. And then that in return helps them get in different communities because people think that they're, harder on crime because they have a higher conviction rate. But a lot of times it's these sorts of plea deals that a lot of people say they are forced to take in circumstances. And other times it's made to look bad, maybe they're overcharged, which would be like if they charge them with a felony, but the real crime was a misdemeanor. So they drop it from a felony to a misdemeanor if you plead guilty and, do 60 days in the county jail and 6 months probation. And then, of course, once you're on probation, you're paying fines and you're also paying to be on probation. Probation is not free. So it can be difficult for some people navigating. And, in this case, they turned everyone on Jen Shah. So she would have had a lot of people testifying against her. And she also would have had Stewart, who was her right hand man for a long time. And she knows that his money is long, his memory is long, okay? And so he had to take a plea deal as well. I can't remember, Freddie, do we know did he get sentenced? Yeah, we know that he has, taken a plea deal and pled guilty, and he's turned over evidence to the government on Jen Shah, but I don't know if he's actually received his sentence. I thought he was looking between like 6 and 12 years. But more than likely, if he is her co-defendant, whatever time he receives, she's going to get more because she allegedly was the leader of this whole Ponzi scheme, if you will. So it wouldn't make sense that someone who's her co-defendant or was taking orders from her would get a longer sentence than she would. Stuart Smith admitted he was guilty and took a plea deal. I wonder how much time he is gonna. I thought he was looking at up to 12. I'm almost positive Ronald Richards said that because I was thinking to myself, if they give him 10, they're gonna give her 14. Like maybe not 14, but I don't know. You never know with judges. You never ever know with judges, but likely they're not going to have Stewart serving more time than her. Stewart and Jen were both the leaders. I thought that he was her co-defendant, but maybe I'm wrong. Either so, then they would see about the same amount of time. It wouldn't be likely that he would receive more than her. So she's probably going to prison, guys. I'm just saying. And that's why Andy Cohen is probably pissed because she just filmed this whole season. And that's a possibility too, guys. Like, she knows that Bravo may have, they have stipulations in their contracts, and I'm sure that, you know, they could find a loophole that if they felt like viewers knowing that she was changing her plea from not guilty to guilty after she did the Up and Adam interview, and she, you know, Andy Cohen said that he really believed her and felt like she was someone that could be, you know, getting done wrong by the system. And so he was disappointed. I heard the rumor about Kenya and her baby as well years back. Really, Terry? I did not know that. I don't remember hearing that. Maybe I do, but I don't think I did. That's crazy. But I mean, you never know with people. I feel like Kenya is discreet. She has filmed since being sent, or she has like actually been sentenced to how many years yet. She won't get sentenced until November. We just know that it will be up to 14 years. But they did let Teresa and Joe Judice, they knew that they were getting sentenced to prison, and they let them spend the holidays with their kids, because when in these cases, when they're celebrities, they let them report to prison. Okay, if it was you or I, they take us from the county to prison, and in her case, like once they sentenced her to her exact time, they could let her go home, like they did Teresa and Joe Judice. They let them spend the holidays with their kids, and then Teresa reported to prison in January. I don't remember the exact date. I want to say, you know, it was towards the middle. And then also they let Teresa, when she came home, they didn't make Joe turn himself in that day. They got to spend like a month together, I think, before he had to go turn himself in to go do his 3 years in prison. So depending on how much money you have in your representation, sometimes the court will be lenient. It just depends on the judge, really. So she's going away though, and if she has been filming, that's really, I mean, I think Andy's could really get some bad press over that. Yeah, he's trying to play stupid. Like, he did an interview, I think it was with Jeff Lewis, or it was just on his podcast, and he was talking about how he was blindsided. He was mad that she didn't tell him ahead of time. He says Andy was upset that Jen wasn't honest about her crimes on the show for the majority of this upcoming season. That makes sense, Freddie, because she probably was claiming to be like this innocent person that was charged, and that was probably her narrative the whole season. Because if you guys watched her on Up and Adam, that was 1,000% her narrative. I don't think she even thought for a second that they were going to offer her anything. I thought it was like the Hail Mary of all Hail Marys. She was going to go to court and sell them that she was not part of any illegal activity. And I don't know if we all really believed that or not. But yeah, I think Bravo's gonna, that's why I think Andy's mad, because she filmed all season, and now it looks stupid because she changed her plea to guilty. She didn't get found guilty. So that's another, you know, if she would have played like she was innocent the whole time, use that as her, you know, storyline for the season, and then came out, went in front of a jury, and, you know, the verdict came back guilty, she changed it from not guilty to guilty. So yeah. And when they posted, I forget, there is this Twitter account that it posts like word for word in the courtroom. It's like a press account. I follow them on Twitter, and they post word for word what's going on in the courtroom. And the judge made her admit to her crimes, and that she knowingly, you know, took part in you know, conspiracy to money launder. And she could not play innocent the whole time. She saw the Andy Cohen is pissed, probably, because, you know, how they should really probably edit the entire season, because they don't want to make viewers mad. I feel like they have so much controversy going on, especially like in Beverly Hills right now, that maybe, I don't know, they say no press is bad press, but I don't know. I think that they could not be looking for like problematic press, even though they know they're going to get it out of Utah. Anyways, they're not going to go looking for it. So I don't know. I think Freddie's right. She filmed the whole season. I think she filmed the entire season, 1,000%. I think that they might be done filming only because Heather Gray's in Thailand, but she could have left, early. Oh, hey, Stace. We were just talking about Kenya Moore from the Real Housewives of Atlanta and how her baby possibly is not hers. That Marlo Hamptons came out and said that her eggs that she used for Brooklyn, basically, that it's not her biological daughter. And hey, Alan. And Claudia Jordan basically interviewed Marlo and Cynthia Bailey, and I only caught like 3 minutes of it, of course, because I was getting ready to come on live. But yeah, basically that's what's going around Atlanta right now. And a few of the viewers have heard that rumor as well. And then, of course, they're talking about Jen Shah and how her husband might be liable for the $9 million. Shay says Marlo can't be trusted. I think that her and Kenya had oh, hold on. Freddie says, I think it was because the sheriff was running out of money to pay attorney fees. Oh, Sharif, sorry. Oh, yeah. That's a good, Freddie. That actually, I'm sure that contributes to it. Alan says that baby looks just like Kenya, shaking my head. Stace, oh my gosh, I'm shocked, she says. Sharif, yeah, he probably did start running out of money because they had to put up a lot of money for her bond. So, they said on the show her mom put up her whole retirement to get Jen out on bond. So that money, is at the courts until everything's done. Marlo doesn't need to go so low. Alan said, I used to love Marlo, but she's doing too much this year. I agree with you, Alan. I used to love Marlo too. And I think that I don't know. Some people said they really loved seeing the boys on this season. And then other people were saying that they felt like she was using, the boys as a storyline, and that at the beginning they felt like she had good intentions. But now they're feeling like she could be using them basically for a storyline, and that she's put them on TV and basically aired their dirty laundry about their mom and everything, and that it could be problematic for the children in school and stuff. And, Marlo, I don't know. Everyone's raised a little bit different. And I do know of some friends, that their kids stay with their family for a month at a time or go, with their, not sure if like her making them go to her sister's for a month was really as bad as maybe she made it seem on camera. Shay said, I was rooting for Marlo, but not so much now. I agree with you, Shay. I was rooting for Marlo too. I was. Who takes a break from your children or / nephew? And I think that's why Marlo and Kenya cannot get along, because, Marlo was raised in the foster care system, and Kenya had experience with the foster care system and experience with a mom who didn't want her. And I think Marlo's mom was on and off drugs. So I think they trigger each other. It's almost like that trauma bond. And they're just in a cycle of like triggering each other because they have a lot of the same pain, I guess, almost, and they have a lot of the same wounds, and so they know that, and they trigger each other on accident, sometimes intentionally. And I think that's why Kenya gets under Marlo's skin so bad, and that's why Marlo gets under Kenya's skin so bad. We didn't see much of Candy. Sheree's friend, I was like confused about this lady. Sorry guys, my low battery. I was confused about Sheree Whitfield's friend, and like we've seen her this season, family honestly taking turns helping out with the boys. I feel like if she didn't show that, Andy would think she's fake, especially now that she has a peach. That absolutely. I think that, like I said, sometimes like that's really normal for kids. Like the cousin takes them for a little bit. Marlo is always coming in for Kenya. Yes, Barbara. The kids go with the grandma for like 6 weeks, and then they go with the cousins. Like, that's normal with some kids. And if they live like an hour or so away, they'll go and stay. I don't know what the situation is with the boys and how they stay. It just seemed a little bit like Marlo when she was like, the last episode when she was talking with her sister, and she was like telling her sister what she was going through, and you could tell her sister was having a little bit of a hard time empathizing with her, because like Marlo was sitting there with a bottle of champagne, and the sister was sitting there with like a blue collared work shirt on and about to go work a 12-hour shift and go home to, a small place with 4 kids. And so Marlo immediately says, like, I'm going to send you some money, though. I'm going to send you some money. And then she goes right back to, like, talking about herself. And she asks her sister, like, am I bad for this? Am I wrong for this? So it just kind of felt like maybe editing did that on purpose, but I got the impression it was like, I'm going to send you some money and now just, now soothe me because, and I'm basically, sending you money so that you kind of tell me what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Marlo has a lot of yes people around her. We got a view of her makeup artist. And, again, Marlo seems to look for that validation. Like, am I wrong? Should I not, make all of them leave? But I came here to relax and I haven't relaxed and I should have just brought you with me. And so it's like, I don't know, Marlo. Like, I don't know. Is she looking for validation? Maybe. Does she pay people for it? Possibly. I don't know. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on that. I also want to know if you guys want to see Porsha Williams back. Shay, one of the viewers, said she does not want to see Porsha back. Stay says money does not replace love. I agree with you. And I think Marlo is kind of, but I think she could have found that love within the boys. So that's why I kind of like, what kind of love, like, what does Marlo associate with love? Because children still, like, make a connection with them, like, I don't know. I just think she kind of missed out on an opportunity to have a family with them. And Barbara says she does not want to see Porsha. She could stay where she is. Nobody wants to see Simon and his like 20 ghost Rolls Royces. I mean, if Marlo can rent a 2022 Rolls Royce, I'm sure that Porsha and Simon could too. Ellen said, I think she really loves the boys. I think she does too. I think she just has her own issues with love. Nobody wants to see Porsha. Dang, you guys are going hard. Showing Porsha no love this morning on this Monday morning. Well, that's good though. Then they'll put her, at least that's what's good about putting them on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip is they can see how viewers react to them. Freddie and Housewives together would be iconic. Yes. Oh my God, Simon's voice, I can't. I love Freddie and he's welcome to come on anytime. I know his schedule is hard because he's overseas. Frankie and Housewife, yes. Alan, I also heard she isn't on the show because she's under investigation for mysterious riches and she won't help. Oh my goodness. Camille says, I don't miss Porsha. Oh my gosh, Alan, I did not know that she was under investigation. That's a little suspicious. I mean, I would believe that Simon was under investigation, but not necessarily Porsha because I don't think I'm not being disrespectful to Porsha, but she don't have like street smarts. She don't have book smarts a lot. She got man smarts. She got money smarts like that. No, the man. Oh, Simon. Now, yes. Okay. I would definitely think that Simon would be under investigation 1,000%. I think that whole thing is just waiting to go boom. Honestly, I am sure Porsha is better than Tinsley. Birds of a feather, absolutely. And he has like all those ties to Nigeria and he has a home in Costa Rica. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 1,000% possible because he holds a garage. He has to post on Instagram rolling expensive cigars. He has to post his chef in Costa Rica. It's like, you don't have beautiful, but like the cost of living is a lot less than it is in Atlanta, sir. Just trying to say, you're not fooling us, right? Did you guys see that Porsha got Dennis's initials removed from the back of her ear? Allegedly, Porsha Family Matters is coming out with round 2. I bet the money he's going to try and convince her to move out of the country. I never thought about that. I don't know. She could do that. What would she do with PJ? Oh, I'm sorry. I might have been fading in and out. Sorry. I said, what would Porsha do with PJ if she moved out of the country? She would have a hard time doing that because Dennis, I don't think, would let that go. But I did hear that Porsha Family Matters is coming back for season 2. I did hear that Dennis tweeted at Bravo. He was like pissed when they were using clips, I guess. And I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see season 2 or not. We might, though. Alan says, Diana is so creepy. She was posting photos allegedly of Marilyn Monroe with her tongue out. Ever since Sutton went on Watch What Happens Live and made fun of Diana's tongue, she knows it. Everyone is talking about that damn lizard tongue. And now she's posting photos of Marilyn Monroe with her tongue out. I just can't with her. I just can't. Too funny. But all right, guys, I don't want to make this too long. I just want to come on and say happy Monday, talk a little bit of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Maybe we can get an evening live going sometime tomorrow, tonight. Drop anything you guys have any questions on. I'm uploading a video right now. It's been uploading since last night, so I had to cut it into 2 parts. I don't like to do that, but sometimes uploading to YouTube seriously takes so long. I don't know why, if it's the network, certain times a day. So that's why I break it into 2 parts. Alan said, I feel like she's in the Illuminati. I feel like she probably might be too. Did you guys? She posted a photo with the Pope, and I retweeted it. Like, no, if you're picturing photos with the Pope and we don't even know who you are, that makes me a little suspicious. I'm just saying. How did you get to the Pope? Just saying. All right, guys, leave those comments. Make sure you hit that like button. Show my channel some love. I'm trying to grow. So, like I said, any subjects you want to hear more on, let me know. Except for the Illuminati, Alan. You're trying to set me up for the woo. You want me to come on here and talk about the Illuminati? I'm not doing it. All right, guys, have a great day.